Bryant Bulldogs as they take on the number 4 ranked UMass Lowell Riverhawks. Brian Stackpole and Jonas Smith with you, and this should be a fun one as the Bryant Bulldogs finally enter the fray after having to sit out yesterday due to the inclement weather for the third and final game. As we can see here, 11 a.m. is the matchup here between the Riverhawks and Bulldogs. Then afterwards, our first elimination game, the host team, the Maine Black Bears, number 5 seed, will take on UAlbany. And then we'll have another elimination game as we look at the Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship bracket, a proud partner of the America East. Should be a fun one, too. And we talk about pitching always ruling the day and offense also being a key contributor, but we're going to hone in on the 2 starting pitchers today, Gianna Lecedra and also Maddie Wachter.
Yes, today it's looking like probably a pitcher's duel in the forecast. However, we could see some slugging too. 2 very complete teams going to be playing today's opening game on the Labatt Softball Complex. Today it's UMass Lowell's number 2 starter, Gianna Lecedra. You see the 4-12 record and think maybe that's a little dubious, but really it's a lot of bad beats for Lecedra. She's such a consistent pitcher, really delivers some great stuff and finds herself in some situations where maybe more runs are crossing the plate than you might expect. On March 25th, a 9-inning outing against UAlbany, just letting 4 runs cross the plate in that conference game. So a lot of durability for Lecedra in that number 2 spot as a senior. Meanwhile, Maddie Wachter, the America East Pitcher of the Year and a member of the All-Conference first team. Just pure dominance this season from Lecedra. Not as robust a portfolio as, Olivia DeCitas of the Riverhawks, who is resting today, less innings pitched. But in conference play, Maddie Wachter was just an unstoppable force. In America East play against America East opponents, 2nd in ERA, 1st in opposing batting average. So watch for some strikeouts and some consecutive outs today on the diamond.
Yeah, it could be a quick one if the pitchers are dueling as we expect, but we'll find out the starting lineups, the defensive alignments, and so much more when we come back to the Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is the home of hundreds of live America East events all year.
Just moments away from the start of game number 1 here and game number 3 of the tournament. From Orono, Maine, Brian Stackpole, Jonas Smith with you. And let's take a look at today's starting pitcher presented by Service Credit Union. And it is the America East Pitcher of the Year, Maddie Wachter. And we talked about her before the break, but an incredible pitcher who's hoping to lead the Bulldogs to the promised land, which is an America East title.
Absolutely. Maddie Wachter, 8 America East lineups for breakfast this season, just dealing in conference play. You see those overall numbers already pretty eye-popping, but they just get even better when you focus in on the homogenization of the conference opponents. She has 2 outings against UMass Lowell this year. Total portfolio of 12 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts.
And peppers in a first strike here to Elizabeth Neal, the second baseman. Neal, .324 batting average with 19 runs batted in, trying to set the table for this Riverhawks roster, who already surprised some people by beating UAlbany in the first game of the tournament yesterday. Following, Jonah.
Oh, no, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, following Neal, we'll have Tianais, Santiago, Isabel Quintaniza, Maddie Wade, and then Julia Rowley catching and hitting 5th today. Caroline Calkins. This one high and tight. Emily Bomas hitting 7th and playing right field. Ella Van Alstein playing left field and hitting 8th. And then rounding out the order will be Avery Spinello Branch, the shortstop, and hitting 9th today.
We mentioned Wachter's 2 outings against UMass Lowell. One of those outings, she flirted with perfection.
This one popped up and out of play. We'll reach the accessible walkways over on the right side.
7 complete innings on April 3rd. 7 innings pitched, as I said, scoreless, a shutout, complete game shutout in a victory. 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Just those 2 base runners allowed by Wachter.
The 2-2 pitch inside, and I think the Bulldog faithful in the stands and also the third base dugout thought that was strike number 3. Alas, it's a full count to the leadoff hitter for UMass Lowell. The wind and fire, and that one's going to be low. A leadoff walk to Neal. We'll see if the magic continues in day number 2 for the Riverhawks.
UMass Lowell yesterday put together a complete game, 8-1 dismantling of the UAlbany Great Danes, and what was a small upset, Brian. Now we take a look at the Bryant Bulldogs around the diamond.
Yeah, Jaden McKenna will be the battery mate with Wachter here today. As the first pitch over, Santiago will take another one outside. Fairly similar to what we saw yesterday here, too, with Binghamton starter Olivia Kennedy missing the zone quite frequently in the early stages. She settled down nicely on way to a 7-run Binghamton Bearcat victory over the host team, Maine Black Bears. Bunt shown, pull back in time. It'll be 2-0.
Maddie Wachter dancing around the zone to start. Uncharacteristic, just 23 walks in over 100 innings pitched, 102 frames from Wachter.
Corners are in right now, just in case for the bunt of Santiago. And that one careens off the mask of McKenna. Bulldogs, the home team in this contest, is the number 1 seed. We're supposed to play this game yesterday afternoon. Then the rain came through. Rained a good swath of the night, but it's now made way for some beautiful sunshine and just a slight breeze at the ballpark. What a difference 24 hours makes in Orna. 2-1, sliced over the left side, but will hook foul.
Tianais Santiago at the dish, a second-team all-conference selection for good reason. Top 20 in a number of statistics in the America East, 18th in OPS with an .863 mark.
Bulldogs wearing their black uniforms with the gold numbers and letters. UMass Lowell wearing the cream uniforms, just an off-cream white variant here with the blue and red accents and socks. Another one missing. Count will be full. This one gets away from the second baseman and shortstop. Jenks didn't have a beat on it. Goes all the way into center field, but no advancement by Neal. Those things, the first game jitters possibly. They'd already been here for a full 24 hours plus, awaiting their first contest, and had to sleep on it for yet another night, did the Bulldogs. Payoff pitch, check swing, and it's going to be strike 3. The runner's caught in no man's land, and that one's going to be a strike him out, throw him out, double play as Neal was unfortunately in the base paths and is thrown out.
Perhaps a miscommunication here. You saw Neal off with the pitch on 3-2. Santiago, non-committal with the swing, couldn't make any contact, went around and offered, and Neal hung out to dry in between first and second.
I think the Riverhawk fans were upset that they thought maybe that swing hadn't gone through. And that was the reason why Neal was trotting over to second base at a less than brisk pace.
Always such an element of subjectivity on check swings, but from my vantage point, it did look like she offered at the pitch.
Isabel Quintaniza stepping up, hitting the 3 spot, designated player this morning session. 1-1 the count after this one misses by Wachter.
Quintaniza gave the Riverhawks some extra cushion in yesterday's game with a 2 RBI double in what was a massive 5th inning for UMass Lowell.
Grounded down third base side. Fielded cleanly, fired over, 5-3. And the Riverhawks retired in the top of the first. Home half of the first inning coming up next on the Northeast Delta Dental Cherokee Softball Championship on ESPN+.
No runners left on base.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
At Service Credit Union, we believe that your life is a story. And like most stories, every chapter brings something different. A new adventure, a new calling, a new hero, and even a new beginning. No matter what page you're on, we'll be with you. Service Credit Union.
At the break of dawn, our conference awakens, and champions will rise, pulsing like a battle drum, steady and unyielding, ready to face any challenge through grit and resolve. Out here rises the heart of the tenacious, fueled by conviction and driven by commitment to team and alma mater. This is our battle cry that rings out through the generations. The sun rises in the east, so does our march towards greatness, which has only just begun. This is the America East.
Let's take a look at today's starting pitcher for UMass Lowell, presented by Service Credit Union. Gianna Lacedra will be towing the rubber in the circle today after a very strong performance by Olivia DeCitas, but the confidence from Jen Starrick and company in Lacedra is definitely palpable.
Gianna Lacedra is about as hometown as it gets. Went to Lowell High School. Such a strong number 2 option for the Riverhawks, and plays with a lot of pride in the area that she grew up in. A 4-year member of the UMass Lowell team, member of the all-rookie team in 2023, has had just a dynamite year. 100 clean innings pitched, 70 strikeouts. Walk numbers have raised this senior year, though.
Williams with the bunt attempt, the leadoff hitter. That will be foul on the third base line. Ariana Williams, the leadoff hitter, playing left field here today. Has 10 runs batted in, but more of a table setter for this Bryant Bulldogs lineup, especially as a lefty. This pitch missing outside. Home plate umpire today, Stan Abramovich. Robert Bloss at first base, and Peter Soprano at third base. We're in the navy blue today. 1-2, foul to the netting again.
Aggressive opposite field shift on in the infield here against Williams. 3 defenders to the left of the second base bag. Maddie Wade all alone at first base. A lot of hitting room on the right side, which you'd consider maybe a little unconventional for a left-handed hitter, but remember in softball, the drag bunt threat up the third base line is huge for these lefties, and so is the slap hit threat.
This one misses high. Count will be 2-2. Interesting to note, too, Jonah, the outfield, normally you'd see them at no doubles defense. I think they're playing no singles defense right now in left and center.
And it's honestly a strange little slanted gradient. The right fielder playing deep, left fielder playing in.
Good contact by Williams, unable to get it in the field of play, however. Remain 2-2.
That just goes to show you the difference in approach that Ariana Williams brings you. She's such an efficient base stealer, and you have to approach her plate appearances in such a different manner.
And this one will be down the line, but just a foot or so to the left side. That would have been dangerous and likely more than 2 bases. Could have been 3 with Williams' speed.
Yeah, even hitting that one up the third base line, Ariana Williams, just one of the most blazing fast members of the America East Conference. Could find her way streaking all the way in third.
So we'll do the 2-2 once more. She'll work it to a count now of full. Well-attended first game, again back in its normal scheduled 11 a.m. start time. Yesterday it was moved up to 10 a.m. for the first contest. And that's going to be a called strike 3. Lysedra punches out Williams for the first strikeout.
Gianna Lysedra with some paint. Found 8 strikeouts against you. Found 4 strikeouts this year in 5 1/3 innings pitched against the Bryant Bulldogs, and wants to continue that trend of setting the Bulldogs down by way to K.
Next batter up is going to be the shortstop, Gabriela Giswaldo will bunt that straight back. And fortunate to have that one loft quickly back down to earth. An assist to gravity there, otherwise that could have been a quick second out. Bryce Clendenin will be due up next, the third baseman.
Giswaldo typically wears 25, sporting 17 today.
An interesting note just before the contest, she swapped jerseys out, establishing the prime number on the front and back of the jersey here in this morning session. Lysedra's 1-1. Breaking pitch just dropped right above the knees, perfectly placed. And the senior righty seems to be dealing early on. This one missing outside, and a great plate discipline by Giswaldo. We talked about the top to bottom talent and the accolades that were earned by the Binghamton Bearcats, but the Bryant Bulldogs also very prevalent on that list that was announced on Tuesday afternoon.
No team in this conference better at simply manufacturing runs than Bryant. They are so dangerous. If you allow any of them to get on, they all have the ability to be a threat on the base paths. 72 steals during this regular season, 10 more than the next closest team in the conference.
Another one fouled away. These Bulldog batters are definitely making Lysedra work between Williams and Giswaldo in the first 2 plate appearances. Speaking of accolades, too, Bianca Bell, 2026 America East Coach of the Year in the third base dugout. Now the one missing the zone, and the count will be full for the second consecutive batter for Lysedra. Payoff pitch, grounded weakly again.
Get a quick look there. So much hitting room up the middle of the diamond right now as Coach Jen Sterick and the Riverhawks are protecting the third baseline. Expecting Giswaldo perhaps to rope one hard to the left.
Shows bunt, pulls it back, it's lofted up. It's going to be right near fair territory. Now they have to make the determination on whether or not that was contacted in fair territory or not. And initially the call is going to be that it was in foul.
Let's take another look here. That could have spelled doom. Probably extra bases if she touched that on the right side of the foul line. We'll see. Ooh, that's razor thin.
Yeah.
Probably the best vantage point out there for Peter Soprano, who made the call.
This one back up the middle, knocked down by Lysedra, who also falls to her backside. Head first slide, and Giswaldo's going to beat the throw.
We said it. These Bulldogs have wheels. Giswaldo digging hard up the first baseline. A little stumble by Lysedra. Good recovery, but not fast enough. As Giswaldo lays all the way out and goes head first into first safely. Maybe after that stumble by Lysedra, they're going to have a little bit of a health checkup. Maybe got some turf pellets stuck in the land.
Yeah, the good news is that the turf is a little bit more forgiving than the dirt counterparts that you would sometimes see throughout the scope of softball. But in the Northeast, turf prevails, but just making sure that there's nothing on that throwing hand of Lysedra that could impact her ability.
Perhaps a little contusion.
Again, the winner of this contest moves into tomorrow. We see the replay here.
Had to catch herself.
Tough throw due to the speed of Giswaldo, but also having to spin around. She seems to be all right. Put a little bandage on the throwing hand of Gianna Lysedra. We were marking the press box, too. Just wanted to point out, do enjoy these UMass Lowell uniforms. And can't recall last time I saw UMass Lowell wearing a white variant jersey from top to bottom. But it's just a little bit of an offshoot, not pure white. It's more of a cream color there as well. And it looks very spectacular here today. And they're hoping that the threads can provide some good vibes. This one inside. So we have the third baseman, and Bryce Clendenin. This one hit high and deep. Ranging back is Van Alstyne. Just shy of the warning track, she makes the catch. Tagging and advancing to second base on a heady play is Giswaldo. That's just beautiful base running and great softball IQ.
The Bulldogs are just so lethal on the base paths. Clendenin got a good piece of this one, gave it a ride, but just shy of the warning track. Great read by Van Alstyne, but an even better tag. Excellent hustle by Giswaldo. So much speed up and down the Bryant roster.
Now we see Tegan Thompson stepping up to the dish. This one will miss just outside. .263 batting average with 15 runs batted in for Thompson. California native. This one popped up, looks to be playable. Maddie Wade, no problem as she jaunts over to her right, makes the catch. And the first inning is complete from Orono. We'll be back with the top of the second coming up next on the Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
One runner left on base.
The America East Softball Championship is presented by Jersey Mike's, a proud supporter of America East women's sports. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Some players from the Binghamton Bearcats here in attendance. They don't need to necessarily be in Orono today because they have the day off. One game away from a championship, and they will play the winner of this matchup between the Bulldogs and Riverhawks as Maddie Wade for UMass Lowell steps in for the first time here this morning. What a benefit it is to be the victor of this one. Winner also has 2 chances tomorrow to punch a ticket to the Americas Championship game. And the winner would be in the proverbial catbird seat, having to be beat twice to lose the title. Now it's 3-0. Wachter having some trouble locating the ball in the zone.
Maddie Wade 1 for 4 yesterday. 1 for 8 this season in the regular season against Bryant.
Rio pitch. It's going to be a high strike call, drawing some groans from the UMass Lowell fans below. Great energy so far on day number 2 in just the first game of the tournament for this Thursday. 3-1 pitch will miss outside. Second walk surrendered by Wachter.
And this is going to be something to watch going forward. A leadoff walk never bodes well for the defense, and it's something that Maddie Wachter has done such a great job this season limiting, and that's really why she won Pitcher of the Year is because it's hard to get on against her. And now if the Riverhawk hitters can just be patient and work walks, then they've got a real ace up their sleeve.
This one popped up. Julia Rowley, catcher and second team all-conference selection. Second consecutive inning that Maddie Wachter has allowed a free pass to the leadoff hitter.
Not often you find a 5-tool player who plays catcher as a freshman. And that's what Rowley is.
Quickly up in the count is Wachter, looking to put her location struggles in the rearview mirror as her command has definitely increased in this at-bat.
You mentioned Julia Rowley, second team all-conference, all-rookie team as well, a OPS of 799.
This one seemingly got the end of the bat. Ranging back is the center fielder, Lewis, and she's going to drop it. It's going to be extra bases, and now 2 runners in scoring position as Rowley sent that one for a ride, and it looked like Lewis had played that one too far in.
Lewis was definitely shifted shallow. Maybe if we get a look at the replay, we can see where she took that first step. That's always so important on these tough tracks for outfielders. They teach you sometimes to take that first step back because it's easier to run in than back out. But sometimes outfielders get double-crossed.
Well, that will go as a base hit. Not an error per se, but maybe a mental error in terms of positioning. This one hit high and deep, likely will be the first run. Lewis underneath it, tagging up and looking to score is Wade, and it gets out of the glove of McKenna. And the Riverhawks will take the early 1-0 lead.
Wow, nearly a chance at instant redemption for Laniel Lewis, who delivered a dart to home plate. Came up just short of Jaden McKenna, popped out of the glove. Here's another look. Gave it a charge, did Calkins. Good track, excellent throw, just out of the glove of McKenna, unable to steal that first run. Riverhawks draw first blood.
Now here's Emily Bomas up at the plate, right fielder for the Riverhawks, and another chance to put another run on the board for UMass Lowell. As also advancing on the play was Rowley from second to third. The 1-0 pitch, hit down the line. Denon throws over in time, and having to dive back is Rowley, not trying to get into a rundown and into a quick out.
So important for Maddie Wachter to find a harmless out in that situation, and she does. Bryce Clendenin, perhaps an all-conference snub in her mind. She had such great statistics this year, plays great at the hot corner, did not make first or second team all-conference, but finds a way to knock that ball down and get the out there without allowing Rowley to score.
Here's the left fielder, Ella Van Alstyne. Take that for a called strike on the outside half of the plate. Well, the Bulldogs might have had some nerves entering the contest. Seems like they've settled down, now playing with a little bit more fire, now trailing by a run through almost 1.5. This one misses outside. Just a piece of it by Van Alstyne. But now down in the count, 1-2.
Another member of this young UMass Lowell core to make the all-rookie team. Had her best performance of the year, perhaps, at Bryant on April 4th. 3 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBI.
Yeah, to that point, Jonah, this Riverhawks team hoping to mature into a championship team maybe a year or two earlier than anticipated, with so many first-year players, sophomores on the roster. Could be a dynamite team that could dominate the conference for years to come. Swing and a miss. Wachter gets her second K and gets out of the inning. Riverhawks strike first blood. They lead this one through 1.5 by a score of 1-0 in the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
In the second inning, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on.
Fans enjoying this one, including some UAlbany fans getting a seat early before they take on the Maine Black Bears. And game 2 of the 3 games scheduled for this morning and into afternoon. Bryant Stackpole, Jonah Smith with you, and we appreciate you making us part of your Thursday morning and hopefully part of your Thursday afternoon and evening. Jalen Lee stepping up to the plate, the right fielder. Takes a called strike as Gianna Lacedra out there for a second inning of work and hoping to be just as effective as she was in the first. And so far, so good, Jonah. 2 straight ones peppering the outside half.
Sure thing. Lacedra attacking the zone. Jalen Lee made 1 appearance against UMass Lowell, but was in a pinch running capacity. Did not have an at-bat.
Hailing from the Lone Star State. From Houston, Texas. 22nd start of the season for her. Shows bunt here. Another lefty with some speed. Pulls it back, right back up the middle. The second baseman, Neal, fires over to first in time. That's a tough play, having to range to her right and then throwing across her body, but Neal makes it look elementary.
Elizabeth Neal, the all-conference first-team selection, in part due to her offense, but also in part due to her defense. Just shows such impeccable range and composure there. Immediate, quick first step to her right as soon as the ball hit the bat and got over and made it look quite simple.
First pitch missing to Carly Genzer, the first-year player hailing from Texas. Big kudos when you look at some of these players and where they're from and to play in the Northeast. Coaching staff and the recruiting definitely superb for some of these programs. Named Black Bears the player, Neve Adams, hailing from Australia, halfway across the world. As this one misses inside. 3-0 now. Bryant University, the newest team and member of the America East Conference, but they have made some noise in some big ways across the athletic scene. Oh, a fourth one misses. And the UMass Lowell fans aren't happy. Julia Rowley also wanted a little discussion there to see where that one missed and said it was just a little low, did her home plate umpire, Stan Abramovich.
Expect to hear a number of complaints from fans of every team here today, and it just goes to show you how high the stakes get come tournament time. Every pitch so meaningful, and they want to see it called their way.
Jenks hits this one. One hopped into the glove by the shortstop Spinello Branch, not in time to turn two, but does get the lead runner on the throw over to Neal as Genzer is cut down at second.
Lightning quick reaction time by the second team all-conference member Avery Spinello Branch. Got that one in the backhand on a one-hop. Quick turn to get the lead out. Had a little pump fake in there, so not quick enough to turn two, but definitely best to square up, make sure you get that lead out instead of trying to rush and maybe committing a catastrophic error.
First plate appearance by Jaden McKenna, catcher today, from the Granite State of New Hampshire. Cedra, who's only allowed one base hit and one walk, looking to close out this inning and maintain that 1-0 lead for the number 4 ranked Riverhawks. As this one misses outside, that'll be 2-0.
And again, a forecasted pitcher's duel here today. LaCedra trying to do her part. Maddie Wachter allowed 2 runners to get into scoring position with nobody out last half inning and did a fantastic job to dial it in and only allow 1 to cross.
Oh, nice fastball on the inside half. The first strike here to McKenna. And while the Bulldogs in the Bryant University, the newest team in the America East, the former newest team in the conference is UMass Lowell. Both with a chance to take a title when all is said and done, though Maine, U Albany, and Binghamton, more importantly, have something to say about that before we end the tournament on Saturday.
Jaden McKenna here at the plate, just making her 16th start of the 2026 season. So a little bit of trial by fire for some of these teams in the tournament.
This one right at the third baseman, Calkins, and no problem there, playing the hot corner. 2 complete from Orono, and it's UMass Lowell 1, Bryant nothing on the Northeast Delta Dental America Softball Championship on ESPN+. The America East Softball Championship is presented by Service Credit Union, the official credit union of the America East. Northeast Delta Dental, a proud partner of the America East. And Venue, the official ticketing partner of the America East. Top of the third inning, UMass Lowell looking to add on to their 1-0 lead. And first at bat here for the number 9 hitter and shortstop, Avery Spinello Branch, misses low. Spinello Branch, again, we talked about it yesterday, but almost like a second leadoff hitter. She's unhappy with a strike call in the outside corner. She's got speed for days. We know she can play a very sure-handed shortstop position defensively. There's another off-speed pitch. This time it misses the zone.
Nice little slide piece out of the hand of Wachter. Tantalizing pitch, but a better take by Spinello Branch, who shows such great patience offensively.
The 2-1 pitch, and that misses outside. Well, Wachter now in danger of giving up her third consecutive leadoff walk. And Spinello Branch is not the one you want to give a leadoff walk to. Leads UMass Lowell in stolen bases. And we'll foul that one up over our heads and out of play.
Maddie Wachter threw 33 pitches, hovering just beneath that 50% strike rate. Very unusual. Typically attacks the zone, keeps the walks down, and knows she's playing with a dangerous UMass Lowell lineup today. Maybe not as keen to groove one in there.
The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. She comes back from down 3-1, bears down, and gets the strikeout, her third so far of the contest.
Pure precision for punch-out number 3. Mixed speeds, changed the location. Had some nice break on that one, and Spinello Branch went reaching for it, waved, and missed.
Back to the top of the order, and Elizabeth Neild, who walked to lead off the contest for the Riverhawks. Then thrown out in an awkward play back in the first inning. Check swings that one foul.
The Riverhawks have had so much traffic early in this one. The Bulldogs, with their share of runners on 2, going to be important to keep an eye on the situational hitting numbers as we go through this one. That typically tells the story in these softball games, Bryant.
It's very reminiscent, it seems like, of what UMass Lowell did to UAlbany yesterday. Some production on the base pass, and then they exploded for a huge inning and then never looked back, putting the Great Danes on the verge of elimination versus Maine coming up in the second game today.
And in yesterday's game, the Great Danes and the Riverhawks both had plenty of base runners on. UMass Lowell able to capitalize and convert. The Great Danes, not so much.
Oh, what a great play. Glendenin fires over after coming up from one knee. The backhand, the fire, picture perfect.
Glendenin top 10 in the conference in 5 offensive categories. Shows off the leather here. A couple of great plays at the hot corner so far. Nice arm, too.
A walk defensively. Glendenin over on the third base position. Now here's Santiago, who struck out swinging on a check swing back in the first. She'll take that pitch outside. Wachter looking for her first true 1-2-3 inning. A double play did face the minimum back in the first at Wachter, but I wonder if it's kind of like driving a car, and when you first get a car, you need to break it in a little bit. Maybe Wachter just needed to break in that circle before she found that groove and then dominated the Riverhawks from here on out. Fouled away. Count still in favor of Theanis Santiago. Hailing from Methuen, Massachusetts. This one lifted high and deep. Ranging back is Lewis to the wall, to the track, and that one clears the fence. A solo shot by Santiago doubles the lead for the Riverhawks as they now lead this one 2-0 in the third.
Listen to the crowd. Home run number 4 this season for Tianai Santiago, tying her for the team lead. And look at her get into this one. Off the inner part of the bat, too, so it just goes to show you the pure muscle that Santiago was able to harness in that swing just to force that thing out. 220 plus, just off that dead center marker. 2-0 Riverhawks against the pitcher of the year.
And normally, Orono is a wind tunnel, especially on campus at the University of Maine. As this one popped up, looks to be playable in foul territory. Ranging over and losing it in the sun is Lee. Long way to travel, but I think the sun just caught her eyes. But the wind, not really here other than a very slight breeze according to the state of Maine, and American flag off in left center field on the flagpoles. But that was just a nice shot by Tianai Santiago. Quintaniza sends that one into shallow center field. And that one almost a collision, actually a little contact between Jenks and Lewis, but the out is recorded nonetheless. Though Santiago goes yard for the Riverhawks, they double their lead up through 2.5. It's 2-0 UMass Lowell on ESPN+.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
Ground yourself in this moment. What do you smell? What do you hear? That's the sound of a juicy steak with 10 essential nutrients like protein, iron, and B vitamins to support your wellness journey. Now that's my kind of aromatherapy. The nutrition you need, the balance you crave. Together, we bring more. Beef.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, baby-like wonder, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea.
Get the Boardwalk Bundle, a number 2 sub, chips and a drink for $10.99. Available for a limited time.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Leading off for Bryant, the center fielder, number 30, Anaya Lewis.
There is Tianai Santiago, who doubled the lead for the Riverhawks, looking to make it 2 upsets in a row and punch their ticket ever so closer to championship Saturday. Home run last half inning. Second of the tournament, first for UMass Lowell. Is this one a swing and a miss by Anaya Lewis, the number 9 hitter.
Anaya Lewis, some secret pop in that 9 spot. We've seen so many teams do that this year.
Lays down a bunt, picked up by Rowley. Fires over, in time. An emphatic punch out there by Robert Bloss at first base. And what a well-fielded and fielding the position well by Rowley.
Well, first off, great bunt by Lewis. Just deadens that thing directly in front of home plate. Maybe not quite enough oomph behind it. It's Julia Rowley behind the plate. So strong as a backstop. Great offensively, but proves there why she's a member of the all-conference second team and rookie team as just a freshman.
There's Ariana Williams back out there for the second time at the plate. Struck out looking to begin the proceedings offensively for the Bulldogs.
And they'll keep this shift on against the lefty Williams.
And this one is going to loft up, and it's going to beat the left fielder Van Alstyne. She gathers it quickly. The throw in, not going to be in time for the speedy Williams. A one-out double, and the Bulldogs starting to feel a little momentum swinging in their favor.
Wow, what a play. A frozen rope to the opposite field off the bat of Ariana Williams. Great swing, forcing it the other way. Excellent work in left field by Ella Van Alstyne to cut that one off before it got to the wall, but Williams just too fast. In there head first.
And had they been playing a little bit further in like they had back in the prior at-bat, that could have been even more dangerous. Van Alstyne doing a great job not allowing that one to bounce all the way to the wall. First pitch swinging. Hit a good distance. It's back. It's deep. It's gone. Tie game. And Gesualdo sends it over the left field wall. And with one swing of the bat, we're knotted at 2.
Bring out the bubble gun. Look at the celebration from the Bulldogs. An ambush on pitch number 1 from Gesualdo. Crack of the bat. Kiss it goodbye. Watch this. They had the corner infield in expecting a bunt. Nope. She's going to do the opposite of that and power this one out of here over the left field fence. 2 runs on one swing of the bat, and this contest is all tied up.
4th home run of the season, 2 for Gabriela Gesualdo. Now in sole possession of the team lead. I said you could feel the momentum shifting for Bryant after that 1-out double, and now you feel like this might not be the last 2 runs they score in this half inning.
Absolutely not. Such a complete team. There's a reason they have a winning record against every other America East foe this year as the #1 regular season team. Back-to-back extra base hits here to spark a rally.
Popped up, back our way, and on the roof. Jonah was hoping for the bounce back. That would have been a cheap way to get it, though, Jonah.
Yeah, got to be ready to clean up the rebound.
Glendenin, a little conversation here. Making sure everything's lined up properly in terms of the signs. Took a hearty cut on the last one, fouled, but just missed it.
I mentioned earlier in this game we've seen 2 great defensive plays from Clendenin so far, but such a weapon in that 3-hole as well. 9th in batting average in the conference, 2nd in on-base percentage, so good at drawing walks. 7th in OPS, has some slug in there. 3rd in walks, 9th in runs batted in.
Another of the Texas contingent, hailing from College Station. It's a called strike, and the count now 1-2. Well, this could be the day of home runs, as we've seen 2 now in this inning alone. No chase there by the third baseman for Bryant. That misses outside, even the count at 2. Another one missing, this time high, and the count will be full. No action in the Riverhawk bullpen to this point, as Lacedra just a couple mistakes made this inning has resulted in 2 runs. This one lofted, but foul on the left side, now to play.
Both of these teams will have more games to play after this one, so have to be deliberate about how you're using your arms. Don't want to hang a starter out to dry, maroon them in the circle, but you also don't want to burn through your entire bullpen.
Popped up, left center field, will stay up for Santiago. Again, uses the speed, covers that one right in front of the Delta Dental sign in left center.
That one looked like extra bases off the bat. Maybe Clendenin got jammed this time. Brilliant track from Santiago to range over and secure the out.
Here's Tegan Thompson, popped up to Maddie Wade at first base to conclude the first inning. The winner plays again tomorrow, and they can enjoy the rest of their Thursday. The loser of this contest will play an elimination game and will be fighting for their lives later on this afternoon. Back up the middle, and that'll be a base hit just to the right of the Black Bear mouth in center field. First hit for Thompson of the contest, and the 3rd hit so far this inning for the Bryant Bulldogs.
Textbook single here. Bryant already a couple on the board in this frame. Maybe a little 2-out rally could be brewing here with Jalen Lee up.
Lee grounded out to second base, her first appearance. A nice play defensively by Elizabeth Neal. This time she'll hit it to the left side. Past the outstretched glove of Spinello Branch. back-to-back singles, and just as Jonah was saying, looks like we might have that two-out rally for the Bulldogs.
Still have some work to do if they want to drive one across here. Nice little opposite field knock for Lee. She beats the shift. You saw the shortstop, Avery Spinella Branch, playing far over to her right to back up the third baseman Calkins, who was playing in to protect the bunt. But the lefty Lee rips it in between the hole, between the second base bag and the shortstop position. Back-to-back knocks with 2 outs and a mound visit here. Could Coach Derrick be taking the ball? And she will.
There'll be a new Riverhawks pitcher when we come back. Tied up 2-2 in the bottom of the third inning. The Northeast Delta Dental American East Softball Championship on ESPN+. New pitcher, familiar face, and already a Game 1 winner. Olivia DeCitas, 16-10 overall record with a 2.71 ERA. Arguably one of the best pitchers in the conference, if not the best pitcher, depending on who you ask. If you're clad in UMass Lowell, red, white, and blue, they probably say by far the best.
DeCitas, the Death Star, perhaps, in the circle, just has that laser. A fast pitch and mixes speed, so accurate. Really has everything you could ask for out of a southpaw to set down conference foes. So effective all year long, including yesterday versus the UAlbany Great Danes. But it's important to note, really her only blow-up appearances of the year came against the Bryant Bulldogs. In 3 1/3 innings pitch versus Bryant, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
First pitch, a called strike. Carly Genzer reached base by way of a walk. Was later thrown out on the fielder's choice at second base. Number 6, Amira Rayner, grad student from Virginia, now pinch running at second base. That one's going to miss a little high. 1-1 now the count.
DeCitas threw 101 pitches in yesterday's outing versus the UAlbany Great Danes. 7 complete frames, scattered 8 hits and 1 walk, surrendered 1 earned run, had just 1 punch out.
This one a called strike. Rayner tries to steal the extra base, instead is punched out, and the inning is over. Rowley showing off the cannon from behind home plate as we played 3 complete, 2-2 in Orono, the 2026 Northeast Delta Dental American East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
Tom, for those who may not be familiar, can you tell us about Northeast Delta Dental's mission?
Sure. Our mission is to advance the dental health, but also the overall wellness of our customers and the communities we serve.
Why did partnering with America East feel like the right fit as a way to amplify your message about mental health?
Absolutely. America East has shown a clear commitment to encouraging open communication about mental health. For example, last year they enlisted student athletes to spread a message of hope for achieving mental well-being, encouraging all to provide a support system for those in need. This is a conversation that we need to continue to normalize to ensure that anyone that needs support has access to these resources. Continuing to address this topic in public forums will support that and, importantly, fight the stigma that surrounds mental health.
Thanks to Tom Raffio, Ben Stockwell. Tom, of course, the CEO and president of Northeast Delta Dental. We appreciate the support as the first pitch, one swing, one out. Maddie Wade pops out to second base, and now Julia Rowley, who made a great defensive play. We'll see if she can translate that into some instant offense like we've seen time and time again. Already knocked a double. Did not score back in the second inning, but to get all the way to third base, though that's going to be an offer by way of a foul tip bunt. Looked like she didn't want to swing, but just happened to glance her bat. This one misses outside, 2-1. Maddie Wachter seemed like she had settled down, though has surrendered a run in each of the last two innings that she's come up to face the Riverhawks. Just off the end of the bat. It'll be 2-2.
That one was running up and in on the right-handed hitter. Maybe a bit of a defensive swing in the sense of, let me defend my body with the bat.
Rowley awaiting this pitch. Wachter looking for another K. And just fouled back to the screen. Beautiful day at the ballpark here today. Stark difference than what we saw 24 hours ago, where the rain started to come through. It was overcast for the majority of the day. The sun is shining. One of these teams will be even smiling once all is said and done. Another out over to second base. Jenks fielding her position quite well on two pop-ups.
Wachter pitching very well to soft contact today. There's been some hard contact, obviously. A couple of extra base hits for the Riverhawks today. But a lot of soft outs as well, and 3 punch-outs under the belt of Wachter, too, and a lot of time to go in this game.
First pitch, thought about the swing, but keeps the bat on her shoulders, does Caroline Calkins. So on the first pitch back in the second inning, plated the first run for the Riverhawks by way of a sacrifice fly, scoring Maddie Wade from third base. That was a bang-bang play. The ball just got out of the mitt of McKenna. Otherwise, probably would have been one of those very, very rare. I think it was what? Would have been an 8-2 double play, I think, at the time. Another one misses. 3 straight missing the zone to Calkins.
The strike rate improved for Wachter at the end of last inning and the beginning of this half inning. But now quickly, 3-0. Not too close to the zone here.
This one finds the lower part of the strike zone. The home run by Santiago back last inning did occur with 2 outs. Not to elicit some foreshadowing, but just shows the damage that can be done even in this situation. That's at the knees. Calkins thought she had ball 4. Instead, it's going to be a full count, and she'll take a little jaunt over to the end on the main script on the third base side.
Yeah, that's untouchable. Great movement, great speed, catching the lower part of that strike zone.
Payoff pitch. Popped up. Back our way, and we'll clear the stadium. That's also why I'm very cognizant on where I'm parking at these facilities. Softball to the windshield is not necessarily as bad as a baseball to the windshield, but make sure my car's far enough away. 3-2 pitch. Hits it to center field. Ranging back is Lewis. Almost stumbles by the warning track, but still makes the catch. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 4th inning as the Riverhawks are retired. Home half of the 4th coming up next in the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+. Four-legged friends enjoying this contest between the Riverhawks and the Bulldogs. I think that actually is a UMass Lowell fan, not one cheering on the Bulldogs. I don't know if there's any rivalry depending on the type of dog or not. Bryant Stackpole, Jonah Smith with you. We appreciate you joining us. So we now enter Thursday afternoon. First pitch called strike. Carly Genzer back out there again. Her at-bat last time was interrupted after Rayner was thrown out at third base after pinch running, trying to get a little greedy and steal the extra bag, was thrown out by Julia Rowley. Olivia DeCitas out there for another inning of work after she got the last out to close out the third. Check swing, they'll appeal down to first. Barbara Bloss says she did not go around. It'll be 2-1. Swing and a miss. A healthy cut, but no contact. Albeit a small sample size for DeCitas, she looks very strong, much like she was in the later parts of the game versus UAlbany yesterday. And there's her first K of this relief outing. One down in the bottom of the 4th inning, still tied at 2-2.
The strikeout stuff once again on display from Olivia DeCitas. It's going to be a clinic all tournament long if UMass Lowell can keep surviving and advancing. We saw it yesterday just once, only one strikeout in that complete 7-inning performance versus UAlbany. Already has one here in relief. She knows how to pitch in any situation. She can start a game, complete a game, come in the middle of a game and shut down a rally.
This one just misses to Jaden Jenks. Made a couple outs in the field already, including last inning. Got 2 pop-ups. Second pitch will be hit to Maddie Wade, who just snags it right out of midair. Doesn't even give her teammate Neal the chance to grab it. Maddie's done a phenomenal job over in the first base bag.
Fantastic use of her length this time. Spears it out of midair with the backhand. You always take a gamble as a first baseman, leaving your duty at the first base bag to field a ball, because you never know who's going to be able to cover. If that tipped off her glove, definitely would have reached safely, but great work. Stretching all the way out and stealing perhaps a hit.
It looks like if Wade didn't catch that one, the only other opportunity for an out would have been if it was tipped up and then Neal maybe would have had to backtrack, but would have been more acrobatic than the play Wade made. Again, it looks like Tacitus is having some more troubles like she did yesterday with technology here.
We've seen pitchers and catchers struggling with this wristband across all teams, across the tournament, and also in the regular season, so just something that'll happen from time to time.
This one seems to be working now, and she's ready to go. It's a lefty. Settles in to take on the 9-hitter, Jaden McKenna, who swings through the first pitch.
And it's so amazing how Olivia Tacitus can face such a competent, confident lineup and have them looking so lost with some of these swings. Just a testament to her ability to keep batters off balance and mix you up.
Last time McKenna lined out to the third baseman in Calkins. That pitch missing the zone by Tacitus. Count now 1-1. Bulldog bench is alive. Back up the middle. Tacitus deflects it. Spinello Branch make it a 1-6-3 final out. Riverhawks send the Bulldogs down in order. 4 complete from Orono. It's Bryant 2, UMass Lowell 2, and the Northeast Delta Dental American East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
For Bryant in the 4th inning.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
At Service Credit Union, we believe that your life is a story. And like most stories, every chapter brings something different. A new adventure, a new calling, a new hero, and even a new beginning. No matter what page you're on, we'll be with you. Service Credit Union.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, baby-like wonder, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea.
Get the Boardwalk Bundle, a number 2 sub, chips and a drink for $10.99. Available for a limited time.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Seven, 8, 9 hitters due up. Top half of the 5th inning for UMass Lowell. Scored 1 run in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. And again, kudos to that shot from Simon French. It's all of the digital work for the University of Maine. But running the camera on the first base side here today. This one off the end of the bat. Simon back in the day actually used to be my one of the producers back for an American East baseball tournament back in the day. You know, he got such a great, tremendous team as well behind the scenes. Ryan Leffler and Marissa Tripp, among the countless others, will make this broadcast what it is. 0-2 already to Emily Baumus. Will be followed by Ella Van Alstyne and Avery Spinello Branch.
Baumus 0 for 1 today. Had a good day yesterday against U Albany. 2 for 3. Came around to score once. Wants to ride that head of steam in today's game against Maddie Wachter.
Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 1 out, and a big 4th strikeout for Wachter.
And it's so impressive how Maddie Wachter gets these waves and misses. So much horizontal cut on these pitches with such velocity. Makes them practically untouchable. They look so tantalizing until they get too close to the plate. By that time, you've already committed to swing, and strike 3 there.
First pitch called strike to Van Alstyne, who struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning. Ever since the Santiago home run by the Riverhawks, Maddie Wachter has set down the Riverhawks in order. 5 straight retired. This one missing, 1-1. Again, what's on the line? Neither team is eliminated with a loss, but a victory sets the table for a matchup versus Binghamton tomorrow afternoon. And the winner of that game is automatically in the championship game between Binghamton and the winner of this one. The loser has to sit around and wait until the 3rd game of the day, in which they'll see if they get eliminated or if they make themselves a date on Friday afternoon.
These teams are used to playing 2 games in one day, but they're not used to playing one and then waiting hours and playing a second.
Swing and a miss, 2-2.
So there's that caveat of maybe you get warm, you get ready to play the first game, you leave it all out on the field, perhaps a tough loss, then you have to wait a few hours, the muscles cool down, and it's hard to get back into that dialed-in mode. But maybe the rest will do them some good. It's all about an individual mentality.
This one misses, count as full. The other aspect, too, playing the 2nd game today means it's the biggest game of the season. One bad play could mean the end of your year. All the teams chasing the America East Championship and the automatic bid of the NCAA tournament. Just missing. Wachter thought she might have got a piece of the strike zone, but alas, has given up the walk. It's her 3rd so far of the contest.
Van Alstyne in the 2 spot yesterday reached base once by way of a free pass. Came around to score that time and wants to keep that pattern up. Such great patience on display to work a lot of pitches out of Wachter, who still looks pretty effective.
Spinello Branch pushes that bunt over, and she's going to reach first base safely on a head-first slide. And now the Riverhawks hoping that they can get something cooking in the 5th inning.
Watch this. Great work by Wachter to field it. Carly Genzer, maybe a little ambitious, acted like an obstacle in the way of Wachter's throw over to first base. Here comes this year's Coach of the Year, Bianca Bell, into the circle. We'll see what happens.
You wonder if Genzer hadn't gotten in the vicinity of Wachter. It's so hard to do that when you're trying to field your position. But if that may have made it an out at first base as opposed to just a little bit too slow. You see Coach Sterick also talking to the team as well for UMass Lowell as the visit in the circle has wrapped.
Take a look at Coach Bell. She's been so amazing taking over this Bryant program and captaining them through their 3 years of Division I America East softball eligibility here. In their 3rd year in the conference, they secured the regular season #1 seed. Bianca Bell, co-coach of the year in 2024 in her freshman season. Now wins it outright and all alone, the sole owner of that title this year in 2026.
Interesting note, looks like we have a new first baseman as Genzer out of the contest, and I believe Lexi Powell now playing first base.
I wonder if that had anything to do with the miscommunication. It didn't look like they collided hard enough to incite an injury, so maybe just a little bit of a strategic change here from Coach Bell.
Number 81, Lexi Powell.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to that. It's the 20th game of the season for Powell. Swing and a miss for the leadoff hitter, Elizabeth Neal.
Riverhawks, the second baseman, Elizabeth Neal.
Neal had visions of sending that one to the left center field gap. A lot of room out there still. Big hack.
The thing I can think of is maybe Powell might come in relief just in case, and Coach Bell might have wanted her in the field. Keep an eye on this one. Another strike called, 0-2. Quickly down in the count as the leadoff hitter in the batting order. Elizabeth Neal, who's 0 for 1 today, a ground out and a walk. Pitcher's count for Wachter. Good waste pitch outside, but no chase from the second baseman for the Riverhawks. The rock and fire from Wachter. That one will miss. Count now even at 2. Wind just starting to blow in from left center field. Another big pitch upcoming. Just off the plate. McKenna tried to frame it back in the zone, but a great eye by Elizabeth Neal. The payoff pitch with 1 down, 2 on. Popped up. Playable, though the sun is going to be a problem. Powell, who just came in the game, will pick it up. And a huge second out is recorded.
Welcome to the tournament, Lexi Powell. Had to battle the sun there, but came out on top of the cascading rays that time.
Center fielder, Tiana Santiago.
You could see her initially shield her eyes because it was so bright right into the sun. And now it's up to Santiago, who last time she came to the plate hit one over the right center field wall. Actually, probably more center field than right. This is the shade to the right side of the 220 marker in dead center. At the time, gave a 2-0 lead to the Riverhawks. Bulldogs get it right back the next half inning. Count now 1-1 as that one's fouled back.
You have to be so delicate here if you're Maddie Wachter with where you're putting these pitches. Another one in the wheelhouse of Santiago, and it could be going a distance. She's feeling it right now, but you can't play with her too much. If you put her on base, you got another hitter with some pop, and Isabel Quintanilla coming up next, who had a 2 RBI hit yesterday.
And not really anything she can hit yet. This one misses high and tight, but a hitter's count. And as you alluded to, Jonah, you do not want to walk Santiago, even though you might be scared of the power that she possesses. Strike called on the outside half. Perfectly placed by the American East Pitcher of the Year, Maddie Wachter.
Yeah, Wachter would be a pretty bad Jersey Mike's employee, not accustomed to serving up meatballs. Really always works on the corners and the edges of the strike zone.
She is serving the sizzle, though. And dialing up the miles per hour. Two count, 2 down, 2 runners on. This one popped up. Ranging back again is Lewis to the track. Make it 2. Santiago goes yard for the second time. This time a 3-run shot, and it's a 5-2 lead for the Riverhawks.
The first one was a moonshot. This one's going all the way to Jupiter. Tiana Santiago. Conviction in the swing. And the sound of the bat, there was little doubt after that. Very similar spot to where she hit it the first time. And that dead center power on display. Home runs number 4 and 5 for Santiago. The second team all-conference selection. It's riding high in this moment for the Riverhawks.
And with one swing of the bat, they have some breathing room now with 3 runs. They're not out of the woods yet, or the Bulldogs defensively. Quintanilla, a very talented right-handed batter. A designated player up at the plate. Fouls the first one off. I think Santiago had heard you talking about Jersey Mike's and wanted to be the Jersey Mike's sub-above player of the game, and we'll see. Right now, probably a front runner.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
A lot of softball left to go.
Yes.
And Jonah is also the decision maker. He can say whoever he wants to determine. He could put himself as a Jersey Mike sub-above player of the game if he wanted to.
Feels like a bit of a power trip, you know?
He wouldn't. He's a man of integrity. This one hit to the right side. Will find some space. Quintaniza barreling down the line will beat the throw in from Lee. And the inning not over. Riverhawks trying to add on a couple more runs before all is said and done in the fifth.
And I said earlier, let's keep an eye on those situational hitting numbers, hitting with 2 outs, hitting with runners on base. And in both of those situations against Matty Walker, the UMass Lowell Riverhawks are now 3 for 7. So not dominant in those situational hitting moments, but doing just enough to capitalize. And with runners on, the extra base hits are really going to give you that extra boost, so to speak. And those 3 runs on one swing of the bat by Tiana East Santiago will likely prove invaluable going down the line. We're more than halfway through the scheduled 7 here today. Plenty of outs left to get for UMass Lowell, but again, cannot overstate the importance of that swing.
Kelly Stubbs will pinch run for Quintaniza. Isabel is wearing that knee brace too, and you wonder if they want to just get some legs out there too and not risk any more of an injury to Quintaniza. Stubbs does not have a stolen base attempt, but more just a little extra speed on the base pass. First pitch to Wade. This is the zone. Wade so far today, a walk and a run scored the first UMass Lowell run, and then popped out to second base for last plate appearance. Wade's done a great job defensively at first base for the Riverhawks, and then just missing that one, fouling it to the backstop. What a day for Santiago. Yanis with 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Did strike out back in the first, but other than that, it's just been power from the center fielder for the Riverhawks. Walker finally comes set. The windup in the pitch. Oh, what a breaking one. Had some velocity. It just snapped down below the top part of the strike zone versus Wade. Two-two pitch. This is just outside. This is a stolen base attempt and the first one of the season from Callie Stubbs, and what an opportune time.
Stubbs gets an all right jump here. Great velocity on the throw from Jaden McKenna, but too far up and away for Gabriela Gesualdo to corral it and apply the tag.
Could have been a hit and run type of situation here, but now the count is full with 2 down. And that's going to miss. So the stolen base doesn't hurt too much. But now there'll be 2 runners on for UMass Lowell after the walk provided to Wade. And now here's Julia Rowley, an always dangerous hitter.
Very disciplined take by Wade. And they're really making Walker work here. The pitch count all the way up to 90. And that's curtains.
New pitcher for Bryant when we come back. 5-2, UMass Lowell on top on ESPN+. Well, the America East Pitcher of the Year has been chased from the contest, and now number 16, Brooke Tracy, will step up, trying to keep the Riverhawks at bay.
Now batting for the Riverhawks, the catcher,
2-9 overall record, 4.76 ERA. A pretty good pitcher in the circle for the Bulldogs, and now just trying to get the third and final out of the fifth. Julia Rowley, 1 for 2 day, had a double. Also a pop out to second base. First pitch a little low.
Brooke Tracy coming in there is such a solid number 2 option in this conference. Had an outing against UMass Lowell back on April 3rd. 5 scoreless frames for Tracy, 2 hits, 4 walks, scattered them about, didn't allow any to score. 1 strikeout in what turned out to be an 8-0 win for the Bryant Bulldogs. Quick change.
Yeah, it looks like Maddie Wade. No, Maddie Wade's going to stay out there. I guess Stubbs is going to come out of the contest after she stole her first base of the season.
Yeah, 1 pinch runner in favor of another here.
No,
that's not accurate.
No, Sean Stackhouse, our PA announcer, one of the best in the business. I don't think that was what he was looking for.
It's going to be Taylor Dolan out there.
Yeah.
0 for 2 in stolen bases this season.
Number 42, Taylor Dolan.
Good recovery, Stacks. We got Stack Pole in the booth,
Yeah.
Stackhouse on the PA. 2 great consummate professionals.
This one rifled left side, but a little too early was Rowley. Count be 1-1. Kudos to Sean Stackhouse, though. Goes by Stacks with an X. It's extreme ownership there.
He's huge in the Rocket League scene.
Yeah, very, very phenomenal. If you haven't seen him doing his announcing on that side, does an excellent job. Probably the best in the business for my money. This low into the turf.
Yeah, back to the game at hand here. Crucial moment. UMass Lowell up 3. They've had a dynamic top of the 5th so far, but can't afford to have any complacency here. You want to keep the foot on the gas. Pedal to the metal.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Rowley right back up the middle, off the glove of Waldo, and another run will score. As coming in from second base on the hit is Dolan, and an RBI single for Julia Rowley.
The mind of Jen Sterick comes in clutch again as Dolan on second base. Look at her streak around the bags. Great velocity brought into the game as a pinch runner for the pinch runner. So a little bit of a chess match play there by Jen Sterick, but how about Julia Rowley? Great young presence on this UMass Lowell team. Coach Sterick wants her to be a part of this core going forward. One of the best catchers, young budding catchers in this conference.
Caroline Calkins representing the 9th Riverhawk hitter to bat this inning. Swings and waves through the first one as the ball almost got away from McKenna, but making sure that Maddie Wade does not advance past the second base bag. A sacrifice fly in the contest for Calkins. This one hit high to the wall, off the wall. 1 run will score. They'll keep the other runner at third base in Rowley, but an RBI double for Calkins adds and extends to the lead, which now sits at 7-2 in favor of UMass Lowell.
4th extra base hit of the contest for the Riverhawks. Doesn't matter who's in the circle for Bryant. They're seeing the ball well and barreling it up.
It has been all Riverhawks here in the 5th. Reminiscent, almost eerily so, of what they did versus UAlbany yesterday. They lie in wait, and towards the later parts of the game, they explode for multiple runs. And a lot of this damage too, Jonah, occurring with 2 down.
Absolutely. The situational hitting numbers have shifted. With 2 outs, UMass Lowell 5 of 9 overall. Very strong. More than 50%.
Emily Baum is now up to the plate. She started off this inning, and she struck out. Which seemingly seemed like 30 minutes ago. Baum is trying to avoid being responsible for 2 outs for her team in this 1 inning. Grounded back to the stop. And Brooke Tracy now just one strike away from getting out of this inning. Balmus digging in on the right side. The 0-2 pitch by Tracy. Missing high and wide.
Brooke Tracy has plenty of room to work in this count here, but perhaps want to have a little bit more of a competitive pitch on 0-2, something a little bit more mouthwatering to swing at.
Wind, a slight breeze coming from center field. Off the end of the bat. Fielded on the 2-hop. Tracy over to Powell. 1-3 on the putout to finally retire the Riverhawks, but not before a 3-run blast by Diana Santiago and a couple more. A 5 spot in the 5th as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Coming up next on the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+. Welcome back to Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine, and the Black Bears will be back in action for Game 2 today. But the first one has been a thriller. UMass Lowell extending their lead up to now 5, now needing 9 outs recorded versus Bryant to move into a date tomorrow with Binghamton. 0-1 count already. Here to the number 9 hitter. And now a 1-1 count. Lanaya Lewis. Currently 0-1 on the contest. Had a bunt that was picked up by Julia Rowley and fired over, strike to first base in a 2-3 putout. They're going to peel down to first, and they say she went. 1-2 now the count.
9-1-2 due up in this frame for Bryant. Lanaya Lewis, someone who can get it started in that 9 spot.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for DeCitas, her second strikeout of the relief outing. Well, the Riverhawks have done a great job in this one. Took an early 2-0 lead, then surrendered the 2 runs back. And Olivia DeCitas, who was their Game 1 starter, came in for relief, and she has been dominating ever since. Back to the top of the order. Ariana Williams stepping to the plate. 1 for 2 day, had a run scored. One of the 2 that Bryant has on the day. Williams probably could have had an inside the park home run had that ball she hit over to left field gotten past Van Alstyne. Shows bunt pulls back this time, 1-1. It's one of those slashing line drive hits to left field off the left-handed batter. That one hopped into the glove by Van Alstyne. Bat near her shoulder again. Takes ball 2. Cetus gets the sign. Comes set. 2-1 pitch. Just missing again. Williams on the cusp of a 1-out walk.
These are not that far off the plate. You saw Julia Rowley look back, speak to the home plate umpire in a cordial, communicative manner about where DeCitas is missing.
Williams does have 17 stolen bases on the season on 21 attempts. And that a called strike to make the count full. And with a 5-run lead, you do not want to give out a free pass by way of a walk, especially to a speedster like Williams. And there's the walk. So the team leader in stolen bases is now on the base paths for the Bryant Bulldogs and Williams.
The shortstop, Gabriela Gisvaldo.
Gisvaldo's stepping up to the plate. And she's had an excellent contest as well. 2 for 2, had a 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Also a base hit back in the 1st. Right on it. I'd say, too, the new number might be paying dividends for her.
Gisvaldo absolutely pulling her weight today. But if the Bulldogs are going to turn this around, they could use just a little bit more out of their star shortstop. First team all-conference selection, Gisvaldo.
Again, just missing it. Sending it back to the netting.
She's right on these for sure. And it just shows the self-assuredness and conviction of DeCitas to attack the zone against a player who's already 2 for 2 with a 2-run shot.
With one swing of the bat, she can cut the deficit down to 3, as we've seen before. 0-2. Does not chase. Olivia DeCitas at the back of the circle. Step up to the rubber. Swing and a miss. Huge strikeout. 2nd of the inning already, and 3rd of the relief outing.
The 3rd baseman, Bryce.
Just blowing it by the number 2 hitter, Gisvaldo. Now here's the 3rd baseman, Bryce Glendenin. 2 flyouts, 1 to left field, 1 to center field. First pitch missing high. The good news if you're UMass Lowell with the walk to the speedster and Williams is Ariana has not gone because they're down by 5, don't want to needlessly run into an out. This one misses low, 2-0.
You have to think her presence on first base has some sort of impact to the work of the battery of DeCitas and Rowley here, just because they have that extra task to manage. Don't only have to focus on Clendenin here.
This finds the inside half of the strike zone to the right-handed batter, Clendenin. The Great Danes are here, so are the Black Bears, as they're anticipating their matchup coming up once this one concludes. That will find the outside half. Inside, outside so far for DeCitas. Clendenin trying to put a 1 in the hit column for her. An 0 for 2 days so far. Their team trailing by 5 with now only 7 outs in which to work with. And that one will miss outside. Full count now.
Bryant 2 for 7 overall with runners aboard today. They've stranded 2 Bulldogs. A rally here. Need to chip away, get one at least, perhaps.
Williams will be off on the pitch. Check swing and fouls it to the netting. Williams didn't get as quick of a jump as I anticipated here, too. Full count with 2 down. She'll be off on the pitch and see if she can make a break on something that might find a gap. Center fielder Santiago shifted a few feet over to the right field side. Popped up. Shallow center field. No problem for Spinello Branch. And the side is retired in the bottom of the 5th. 2 innings left here from Orono. It's 7-2. UMass Lowell on top in the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
And one runner left on base.
The Riverhawk flag emblazoned in the stands, and right now it's a proud flag. And so are the fans down below. They're excited about their team, looking to add on some more insurance runs. 7-2, the advantage as we head to the 6th inning.
Pinch hitter number 12, Caitlin Fitzgerald.
Caitlin Fitzgerald will be pinch hitting, taking the spot of Ella Van Alstyne. As it's 8-9-1. 2-1 for the Riverhawks, and first pitch swinging foul back. Tianais Santiago, who has 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in, is due up 4th. See what that means, Jonathan? We could see a grand slam. She has a solo shot, a 3-run home run. That's a chance for a grand slam, too, if things go perfectly.
Well, the Riverhawks will have to set the table first if Santiago wants to go yard for 4. And right now we've got Brooke Tracy settling in the circle here, looking to keep her team within some sort of reasonable comeback distance.
2 pitches so far in this inning, both strikes. This will just miss outside.
Fitzgerald at the plate here. Saw 1 at-bat versus Bryant in the regular season and went hitless. Small sample size.
Senior making her 18th appearance of the season. We'll see that one outside.
Again, a trial by fire situation in the tournament. Jen Sterick has confidence in Fitzgerald and the rest of her reserves and knows when to employ them.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Tracy gets the punch out and 1 down at the top of the 6th.
Brilliant work by Brooke Tracy that time. Gets her first strikeout of her outing.
Now here's the shortstop. As we see, perfect pitch versus Fitzgerald. Now here's Spinello Branch. The Virginia native has struck out and singled in the contest. That one misses outside.
A complete player. Coach Starrick puts her in the 9 spot as a second-team all-conference selection to provide a little bit of spark at the bottom of that order, turn things around to the top, plays good defense, runs the bases very well.
This one hit into the field of play, hooking towards the line, and that will be out number 2 as Lee comes out with it.
Well, with 2 away today, the Riverhawks 5 of 10, 50% exactly, and perhaps they can get another rally going here, provide some more cushion. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs' goal, reduce that percentage, set them down here in order, move on to the bottom of the 6th where you can churn out some runs of your own.
Back to the top of the order, Elizabeth Neild up at the plate. 0 for 2 day, a walk, thrown on the base pass, and then a ground out and a pop out.
Longtime fans of America East softball will know very well that the last 6 tournaments have all been won by the #1 regular season seed. Bryant in danger of facing an uphill battle here.
It would definitely be difficult if they lose this game. There would be no slip-up or mistake allowed on way to a championship. They'd also have to play again coming up at around game scheduled tentatively right now for 4 o'clock against the winner of Maine versus UAlbany. This one a call strike, 2-1. And Neal tried to call timeout, but not granted by our home plate umpire, Stan Abramovich. Yeah, the winner of this game gets an automatic date with Binghamton tomorrow afternoon. The loser would have to win again today, and then they would have to win another elimination game tomorrow afternoon, and then they'd have to beat the champion not once, the team that came out of the winner's bracket not once but twice, so 4 more wins. Nice piece of hitting by Neild. 2 hops into the glove of Williams in left field. A 2-out single, looking to try to keep things moving for the Riverhawks and add on some runs. And now here comes Santiago, who's hit home runs on both of the times she's come to the plate last.
Nice rip by Elizabeth Neild that time. Perfect piece of hitting, exactly what you expect out of your leadoff hitter. She's hitting over 300 on the season and now sets the table for the flaming hot Tianais Santiago.
A solo shot and a 3-run home run. Both versus the America East Pitcher of the Year, Maddie Wachter. Strike called in the outside half of the plate by Brooke Tracy. Santiago has been impressive today. Thought too with the load up on the swing before the potential of the swing. It looked like she was gearing up to golf that one over the right field fence again. Likes to take that one low. That one inside too. A hitter's count of Santiago. A dangerous proposition, though only 2 outs. This one into the air, will not leave the park and will loft into the glove of center fielder Lewis. Riverhawks retired in the 6th, but they maintain a 5-run advantage as we head to the home half of the 6th inning and the Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. we think you'll find a lot to smile about.
Most people spend their time trying to fit in. Not me. I want to be all in. I want to be in too deep, in the moment, in the center of it all, in the room where it happens. In it to make a difference every single moment of every single day. So grit your teeth and smile. Be ready to take on adversity. Be ready to transform the world. Ready for whatever life has in store. So, you in?
If an online school that has hundreds of thousands of students isn't right for you, consider UMass Lowell. Real faculty, real campus, and with one of the lowest online tuitions in the country. Real value, too. AACSB accredited business school, a global leader in engineering, IT, and health sciences. Online programs highly ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Get the personalized attention and educational results you deserve. Getting ahead gets easier with UMass Lowell.
Welcome back to the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine. Bryant Stackpole, Jonas Smith with you. As it is a 5-run deficit for the #1 seeded Bryant Bulldogs, with 6 more outs in which to work with. Olivia DeCitas out there for another inning of work, looking to close the door here over the next 2 innings and punch their ticket to the semifinals tomorrow. Swing and a miss. Tegan Thompson cut through that one. 1 for 2 afternoon for her now. After this game started at 11 a.m. Second pitch, check swing, did not go.
Bryant, a complete team, immaculately coached and so confident. They have what it takes to win this America East tournament, but it's going to be a Herculean task, frankly, Brian, to manage this 5-run comeback with 6 outs to go against DeCitas.
Yeah, it's tough to do against any team down by 5 runs, though we've seen some explosive innings throughout the tournament so far through 2 games completed yesterday, and now this one, a 5-run 5th inning for UMass Lowell.
Big innings are possible. Crazier things have happened, but DeCitas had pitcher of the year ambitions and so strong out there.
Exactly what I was about to say. Ooh. That hit off, looked like the
end of the bat.
The bat, wow. I used to do that when I was pitching on the baseball diamond. I would be a little erratic throwing, and I would hit the bat after the batter ducked, but never had one of those off the knob of the bat. 2-2 pitch. DeCitas looking for another strikeout. Count will now be full. Some Riverhawk fans were hoping for that being strike 3, but well off the plate. DeCitas looking for the 4th strikeout here on this pitch. And that won't happen. Fouled off to the right side, now to play.
No hits against Olivia DeCitas in 2 1/3 inning of relief. Coach Sterrick started Gianna Lacedra, who put up a good effort against this powerful Bryant lineup. But the ace up Coach Sterrick's sleeve, DeCitas, coming out and dealing as she's accustomed to.
And there is K number 4. The punch out is true, and 1 down in the 6th. Now Jalen Lee will come up, bases empty. The lefty will step in, trying to get things going for her side. Who scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Other than that, goose eggs, and goose eggs since the 3rd inning. Swings through that one. Fastball blown by on a high pitch by DeCitas. The 0-1. Grounded weakly down the first base side and the right side of the line. Wind starting to blow again. This time blowing in from center field maybe a little bit towards the third base side. Popped up and out of play. Will remain at 0-2. Right back to DeCitis. Backhands, fires it over. Wade on the bag, and it's a 1-3 put out for the second out. Well played position. Well played by DeCitis at her position. As Lexi Powell steps in for the first time here today. Came in as a defensive replacement in the middle of the inning. She'll take that pitch outside. She replaced Carly Genzer after the ball was fielded by Wachter. Genzer was in the vicinity, then immediately Genzer was removed. She'll hit this one high and deep, going back to Santiago. And on the warning track comes down with the third and final out of the sixth. 6 complete here in Orono. It's UMass Lowell 7, Bryant 2, the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
The America East Conference would like to thank Game 1 Adidas.
Final inning at the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine, between UMass Lowell, the number 4 seed, and the regular season champions, the Bryant Bulldogs. Riverhawks already upended the number 3 ranked UAlbany Great Danes yesterday, now trying to take down the top-seeded Bulldogs to punch their ticket to take on Binghamton, who ironically enough is the 2 seed. So, and if they were to win tomorrow, they would have already taken down 1, 2, and 3 in the conference standings on the way to a championship appearance. But still need to take care of the Bryant Bulldogs here. Quintaniza on the second pitch. 1 hops over. Lendenon fields a position well again. 5-3 on the putout, and 1 down at the top of the 7th.
We've mentioned the last 6 tournaments going to the number 1 regular season seed. The lowest seed to reach the championship game has been number 5. Northeastern did it in 1997. UMass Lowell did it in 2024. So Coach Starrick and a couple members of the squad are accustomed to going on those dark horse runs. Of course, that number 5 UMass Lowell team fell to UAlbany in the 2024 championship.
Which ironically enough was right here. See if history repeats itself again. UMass Lowell seems to enjoy playing in Orono. As here's Maddie Wade. Had a good game so far today. 2 walks, 2 runs scored. That one will bounce in the turf. 1-1 now the count. Wind now starting to really whip in from center field. Another one misses there by Brooke Tracy. Tracy's done a really good job in relief here too. Just kind of keeping the Riverhawks from putting up the amount of runs that they were doing against the starting pitcher, Maddie Wachter.
Tracy did allow those inherited runners to cross, but since then, lockdown.
That went through the wickets of McKenna, but no harm, no foul there. Just a third ball of this at-bat to Maddie Waite.
Not sure if anyone had it on their bingo card that the America East Pitcher of the Year was going to go 5 innings, give up 5 hits, 4 walks, 7 earned runs.
Yeah, it was a little unexpected, though a pretty clean game defensively for both teams. There was one miscue, not necessarily a miscue by Lewis, just was into shallow on a play. Hit off her glove. Another walk handed out here to Maddie Waite. That's her third so far of the contest.
I'm sure, like all players, Maddie Wade's eager to swing the bat, rip into one, but she's got that team-first mindset. She understands the value of taking a walk.
That was my sort of offense. Walks.
You were one of those.
Yeah. Was it
100 average, 400 OBP kind of guys?
Yeah, maybe 500 OBP. You never know.
Wow.
I was into your power hitter, but I could walk with the best of them. It's also very tiny growing up. So the strike zone was limited. As Santoli will come over and pinch run at first base. Elena, the junior from Lovettsville, Virginia. 34th appearance of the season. Julia Rowley, who's also had a good game. RBI single last time up. 2 for 3 afternoon. Has driven in 23 runs on the season. Has some pop in the bat, too. Though with the wind blowing in, you're definitely going to have to get some torque on the swing. Pops it up, ranging back towards us, but it's caught. Oh, I don't know how McKenna got that one without it hitting the net. But used some magic to pull that one closer to her, and a huge second out.
Always so tough behind the plate, limited visibility. You got a scamper, it's right above you, and wow.
You can tell the net didn't even move at all. If it had grazed it at all, it would have rippled downward. And instead, Caroline Calkins stepping up to the plate. And we'll hit this one down the line, and it will be a fair ball. Picked up in the corner. And will be a double with 2 down and a chance for more runs for UMass Lowell. There's now 2 runners in scoring position. A nice piece of hitting here. And a third very productive at-bat for Calkins.
UMass Lowell continues to mash with 2 outs. 7 of 13. Hitting over 500 with 2 outs. That's something they did magnificently yesterday against UAlbany. Today against Bryant. It's so confident, so cool-headed, even-keeled when you're on the ropes in an inning. And they understand that an inning's not over until you get that final third out. So Coach Sterick instilling that tenacious mindset. You don't stop swinging until the final bell.
Kate Hardy will also pinch run now. Santoli at third base. Hardy at second. At the plate, Emily Bomas.
Kate Hardy.
Actually, bigger party. She's actually at bat after she will pinch hit for Bomas, who had the unfortunate designation of getting 2 outs last inning, or 2 innings ago.
An adept pinch hitter is the left-handed hitting Hardy. We saw her come in clutch yesterday. Had the go-ahead 2 RBI pinch hit single that ended up allowing the Riverhawks to take that step over UAlbany and the first step in that 8-1 dismantling.
Another one missing high. Favorable 3-0 hitters count. And a circle visit here All the infielders in, pitcher and catcher, just a little bit of encouragement. 5 runs is a tough thing to overcome with just 3 outs to work with in the bottom half of this inning. Any more than that could be very difficult to overcome. 3-0 pitch from Tracy, swing and a miss. The green light was given to Kate Hardy. Tracy looks into the third base dugout, gets the sign, comes set. And will find the outside half of the plate again for their second strike. Count is full, 2 down, runners at second and third. Cut to the left side and off the netting. We'll do it again.
Walked her through 94 pitches today. Tracy now at 41 after a number of long at-bats, and Bianca Bell's staff is going to be stretched pretty thin going forward.
And likely an appearance coming up later on this afternoon. This one over the head of Giswaldo. 2 runs will score. Some very valuable insurance runs. As now a 7-run lead after the pinch hit 2-run single by Kate Hardy. The Riverhawks lead this one 9-2.
Kate Hardy with ice in her veins. Two RBI pinch hit singles in this tournament. And she's making a run at the all-tournament team despite having only seen 2 plate appearances, Brian.
It's all about taking advantage of your opportunities when they're afforded. Now she'll come out of the contest, will Kate Hardy. That's got to be a pretty good gig. You just come in there, rake, drive in runs, exit the game again. You can see Bryant dugout trying to crunch the numbers, game plan here. Mama's back in to run again. Dan Alstein stepping up to the plate.
If we're thinking realistically here, Bianca Bell probably talking about later this afternoon. It's going to be tough, 7-run deficit. And if DeCitas is back out there in the circle, you have one of the most deadly weapons in the conference.
It's been a trying day offensively for Van Alstein. 2 strikeouts, a walk and a run scored, however. Count is 1-1. And that damage occurring with 2 outs, too, which is probably one of the more disappointing things for the Bulldogs. They've been on the cusp of getting out of some innings, but some 2-out hitting has just been deadly by the Riverhawks. Called strike 2, and Tracy and the Bulldogs now 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Twice this year, UMass Lowell was shut out by Bryant. They've had enough of that. Scored 7 runs in the final regular season game, now 9.
Off the end of the bat, fielded by Giswaldo, fires over to first in time, and the inning is over. Kate Hardy, though, pinch hit 2-run single, adds to the lead for the Riverhawks as they lead this one 9-2, heading into the final frame on ESPN+.
Bryant, the second baseman, number 3, Jaden Jenks.
The Black Bears await their contest, which will come up approximately 40 minutes after this one wraps. And Riverhawks Open, that is very, very soon. 7, 8, 9, part of the order due up for the Bulldogs, starting with number 3, Jaden Jenks, the second baseman, who shows bunt, pulls it back, then swings through the first pitch. And an 0-1 count facing the second baseman for the Bulldogs. A 7-run deficit is difficult, but not impossible for the Bulldogs, who have only produced 2 runs here today in their first contest of this Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship for 2026. This game was supposed to happen yesterday afternoon, but the rain pushed it away. And a second strike called, 1-2 now the count.
Olivia DeCitis has gotten her flowers in so many ways this season. So much praise has been sung about her just because she's so effective in the circle. But today, 3 1/3 no-hit innings in relief.
Strike 3. 1 down, 2 to go for the Riverhawks.
11 outs recorded by DeCitis, 1 walk surrendered, no other base runners, 5 strikeouts.
And you can tell how fired up she was yesterday, but also so here today. It's Coach Bell making some adjustments.
Number 23, Alyssa West.
Alyssa West will now check in, first-year player from Ohio. All rookie selection. She will come up to the plate, trying to see if she can be a spark of offense. Middle infield for the Riverhawks, back near the outfield turf. Well, the corners are in. First pitch swinging, popped up. A gaggle of Riverhawks, and Maddie Wade collides in with DeCitis. Maddie, I think, staring down Olivia, and I think just making sure she's okay.
Well, this is always a dilemma. Typically, if you're a pitcher, your role is to default to the infielders almost every time.
Yep.
Mitigates a risk of an error, mitigates the risk of an injury. But Olivia DeCitis has this do-it-myself mentality just because she's so skilled out there and wants to dominate in every phase of the game. And if you're Maddie Wade, you call her off, you expect her to relent, but you have to have the awareness not to steamroll your pitcher.
Yep.
Tough collision there. Didn't end up resulting in a Bryant base runner, but hopefully those two can communicate and hash that out, make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, in order of operations, at least according to protocols, the pitcher only has it in a worst-case scenario. Then it goes to the catcher. Then a first baseman, third baseman, second baseman, shortstop would be able to call anyone off, again, according to how everything's structured. But no harm, no foul here. And now it's Lanaya Lewis. Was the last chance for the Bulldogs. That one misses outside, 2-0. The windup in the pitch. In off the handle. Easy play, and no problem for Elizabeth Neild. 2 days in a row, the Riverhawks have beaten a higher-seeded team. Yesterday, they took down number 3 ranked UAlbany, and today they knock off the regular season champions, the number 1 seeded Bryant Bulldogs, and now have a date with the Binghamton Bearcats tomorrow.
What a job by Olivia DeCitis today. Obviously, the Riverhawks offensively were operating on all cylinders against the pitcher of the year, Maddie Wachter, but DeCitis came in relief. 4 1/3 innings of relief, no hits, no runs. 1 walk was the only base runner, 5 strikeouts, and she came in the middle of an inning in which the Bryant Bulldogs were getting a lot of traffic, already had 2 runs across. She closed the door on that immediately, said, no mas.
Riverhawks scored in 4 of the 7 innings in which they played, including a 5-run 5th inning and 2 runs at the top of the 7th. And they punched their ticket to tomorrow afternoon. And now the Bryant Bulldogs will have to play again today in an elimination contest. and they'll be taking on the winner of Maine versus UAlbany, which will happen in about 40 minutes. But before we sign off for this one, I'm going to put you on the hot seat, Jonah, and see who your Jersey Mike sub-above player of the game is.
Well, today, DeCitas was great in the circle, but my sub-above player of the game is Tianais Santiago, the center fielder, number 3 for the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. Set the tone offensively. 2 for 4, 2 big flies, no doubt shots to dead center, 4 runs batted in, and really she said, do what I do, and it was she was a real trendsetter today for the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. Like I said, set the tone, set the pace, and kept the vibes high in their dugout all day long. Congratulations, Tianais Santiago.
Jersey Mike's a proud supporter of America East women's sports. Jersey Mike's a sub above. So UMass Lowell 2-0 in the tournament. They'll take on another team who's undefeated, 1-0, Binghamton, coming up tomorrow. But our next game, approximately 40 minutes from now, it'll be number 5 Maine taking on number 3 UAlbany in the first elimination game of the tournament. We'll have that for you when we come back in a little bit. But for Jonah Smith, Bryant Stackpole saying so long from Orono, where the final score is UMass Lowell 9, Bryant 2. This has been a presentation of ESPN+.